What up? It's the Trooper. Hell freaking yeah. What the fork? Hell yeah. What's up, my man?
Hey, do the thing. Do it.
That's right, fishes. We're back at it with another video coming at you guys from the best, most awesomest city in the whole wide world, Las Vegas, Nevada, where we got to meet the Trooper. Hell freaking yeah. Hence the Go Gamble hat. We went ahead and picked it up from the Trooper himself. The guy was so cool. We even made an appearance on his video. So if you haven't subscribed to the Trooper, you should go subscribe to the Trooper's channel. The guy puts out daily content. The guy puts out great daily content, might I add. Go subscribe to his channel, and I'll go on and link description. I'll link a video to the I'll leave a link to his channel on the description below, where I went ahead and made an appearance. Shout out to this guy right here who bought me a beer, took the beer drinking challenge, and went ahead and got destroyed. That video is on the Trooper's channel, on that video specifically, so go check it out if you want to check out me destroying someone else in the beer drinking contest. Big ol' shout out as well to Old Man Coffee, who I played with back in March. I hadn't seen him since, and it was great to see him again. We were chopping it up. I went ahead and asked him how he was doing. He was down in poker, but nonetheless, the guy always kept a smile on his face. So that deserves big ol' kudos. Shout out to Old Man Coffee. Who else did I meet? Lady Trooper, the Trooper's girl. Man, she was a really nice lady. She's the one that makes sparkly pops. So if you guys are in Vegas and would like some sparkly pops, go on and check her channel out. I'll go on and link her channel on the description below. They're all organic and made from scratch. As a token of my appreciation, I'm gonna go on and do another giveaway. Yes, thank you to every single one of you guys who shared my video, commented on my videos, subscribed, liked, all that fun stuff. I'm really grateful, and to show you guys how grateful I am, I'm gonna go on and do another giveaway. All you have to do is just, first off, be subscribed. Second off, just comment on the section below letting me know what city, what state you're watching this video from, and what size of shirt you would like me to send you if indeed you do win. Good luck to everybody who does join, and that's it. That's all I have for you guys as of now. Let's get into our mother effing poker. We get to the Aria after a 25-minute walk from the Excalibur in 105-degree weather. Us Californians are spoiled, and we're not used to that kind of weather, but the degenerate in me is just not gonna quit. Once we get to the poker room, we go on and we see a familiar face, and it's none other than Suited Superman. This guy, along with Poker Traveler, is going to be having a meetup game Saturday, September 4th at 2 p.m. at the Hustler Casino in Gardena. I'm going to be there. The LA Poker Vloggers are going to be there. I'm going to be going on and giving away free stickers all night, so make sure you stop by and you claim your free sticker. Back to the poker vlog, we're going to go on and play the 1-3 table, and we're going to go on and buy in for $300. For this first hand of the night, I look down at Ace-King offsuit on the big blind. Our opponent under the gun has made it 15. Our opponent in late position calls. I'm not going to just call. Ace-King is just way too strong, way too much of a premium to just call, and I go on and I bump it up to $45. A bigger sizing here would have been okay as well, maybe $60, $65, but given the fact that I'm going to have to play this hand out of position, and if I don't hit anything on the flop, I'm only going to be able to have the testiculars to fire one continuation bet, and if both the players or one player calls me, I'm just going to have to shut down and take my losses. But fortunately, that doesn't happen as we go three ways to a flop of ace, jack, 9, 2 diamonds. I flop top pair with the best possible kicker in this wet ass board. Now there's flush draws on board, there's straight draws on board, and there's just a lot of cards that could come on the turn that will really put me in a tough spot playing out of position versus these two opponents. For that, I'm not gonna slow play this. I put a continuation bet of $40. Both my opponents don't want none of this Kool-Aid, and they go on and let their hands go. Not a bad way to start this session with a profit of over $90 pushed into our direction, and we're feeling great. For this next hand, the under the gun player has put out a $6 straddle, and we're in middle position looking down at King Jack suited. We bump it up to $25. The cutoff calls, the button calls, the straddler calls, and we go 4 ways to a flop of 10-7 King Rainbow. Once again, it's not a bad flop for us. We flop top pair with a pretty damn decent kicker. After everybody checks to us, we fire off a continuation bet of $35. That does it. Everybody folds. We go on and we take another nice sized pot, and we're feeling freaking great. Our confidence is growing, our chip stack is growing, and we just can't believe how easy poker is. Hell freaking yeah. Now I'm under the gun, and even though this isn't a gym, I still have the right to exercise my option to go on and put out a straddle, so that's what I freaking do. I put out a $6 straddle to which our late opponent player calls, the small blind calls, the big blind says, no way, Jose, we're gonna go on and bump it up to 15 bucks. This is why bet sizing is important. I'm looking down at 5-9 offsuit, clearly aware that this is a shit hand. This is a bad hand, I know it, but it's only $9 more. Sure, I have to worry about 2 more opponents down the road, but they didn't re-raise my straddle, so I can't put them on anything strong. If indeed both my opponents down the road are holding a premium and decide to get froggy and re-raise those 15 bucks, we're just gonna have to plan accordingly, and we're just gonna have to cross that bridge when we get there. As of now though, 9 bucks is not gonna do the trick. I'm not folding. I make the call, our opponent in late position makes the call, the small blind makes the call, and we go 4 ways to a flop of 9-4 jack, 2 clubs. The small blind checks, and the original aggressor on the big blind, he now checks, which is a great thing because he was the only player at the table that we were worried about. Now that it's action on me, I'm gonna go on and take a stab at it. I put out a little chunky bet of 35 bucks, a little bit over half pot. Everybody gets out of the way except our opponent on the small blind, who makes the call, leaving himself only $60 behind. So with about $130 in the pot, we go heads up to see another 5 on the turn. The big blind checks, which I'm pretty sure he's on a draw. I'm not gonna be able to get any value from him if he misses his draw. So this is where we rip it. We go all in for 60 bucks. He goes on and he calls, and we go heads up to see a 3 of clubs on the turn, completing the front door flush. This is 100% a scare card, but it's too late. All of our money is in the middle. All of his money is in the middle, and he goes on and he lets me know that he missed. I show him my 2 pair. He says, nice hand, and we move on to the next one. Now we're on the button looking down at this beautiful ace jack of diamonds. There's been 1 limper down the road, and once it gets back around to me, I'm gonna go on and fire off a bet of 25 bucks, to which our opponent on the small blind calls, our opponent on the big blind calls, our limping opponent calls, and we go 4 ways to a flop of 6-6-6. Our opponent on the small blind decides to take the lead on this one and puts out a bet of 75 bucks. Our opponent on the big blind folds, our limping opponent folds, now it's action on me. I'm trying to figure out what my opponent has, but before I can do that, I'm gonna have to rule out what my opponent doesn't have. In this case, the obvious one would be a 6, right? I mean, there's no way my opponent could have a 6 here. If he did have a 6, would he lead out like that? I'm the original aggressor. Wouldn't he want some value from his quads? I just have to rule that 6 out of his range. Pocket aces? We would have heard from him pre-flop. Plus, I have a blocker to pocket aces. Same thing with pocket kings, pocket queens, and pocket jacks. We would have heard from him pre-flop. I also have a blocker to pocket jacks, making it a little bit less likely for him to be holding any kind of premium. So what is he doing here? I honestly think he's just trying to buy the pot. There's 100 bucks in there, and this is not gonna fly with me, man. I'm gonna go on and put some pressure on him. I'm all in. All $480 I have left behind, and my opponent goes deep, deep, deep into the tank. After what it seems like an eternity of him being in the tank, he finally makes the call, and he turns over pocket jiggities. I'm drawing to only 4 outs, to which none of them come. There's a brick on the turn, there's a brick on the river. My opponent goes on and wins a massive pot. He has us covered. We are absolutely felted, and we're thinking about rebuying. We're contemplating. And I'm not so sure if it's gonna be a good idea, man. I just donked off all my poker winnings, all my poker earnings in a massive freaking bluff attempt that went wrong. And man, ultimately I go on and I rebuy. Not before taking a walk. I went out, I had a drink. I called my friend, told him the situation, what I have done, what his thoughts were about what I had done. He told me that he didn't absolutely hate my move, but ultimately, of course, it was the wrong one, and I paid for it. We're on to the next one. Now that I'm back from my 20-minute break, we're ready for some action, ready to run it up when we go on and get dealt ace-queen offsuit on the button. Our opponent in early position makes it 10 bucks. Our opponent in middle position goes all in for 35 bucks, to which our opponent in late position calls. I go on and I make the call, and the fact that I didn't 4-bet this on the button, it just leads me to believe that maybe I shouldn't have bought in. Maybe I should have just gone back to my hotel room and just taken my losses. I'm not gonna lie, fishes. The previous hand has clouded my vision, has clouded my mind, making me not do things that I should normally do, like 4-bet this. This is a clear case of a 4-bet that I didn't do. but it is what it is. I'm human, and there's just some things that I just can't control. I go on and I make the call. Our opponent in early position who made it 10 bucks, he goes on and folds, and we go 3 ways to a flop of 10, 4, 9, all of them of clubs. Our opponent who's first to act goes on and puts out a bet of 40 bucks into a dry side pot. I'm holding the ace of clubs. I'm not going anywhere. I make the call, and we go heads up to see a 6 of clubs on the turn. We've been upgraded to the ace high flush, and my opponent now checks. Obviously, that club is a scare card for him, and I'm gonna go on and check this one back. The river's a deuce of clubs. Now there's 5 clubs on board, and he goes on and he checks again. I'm gonna go on and fire off a bet of 40 bucks, hoping my opponent calls, thinking we're gonna chop, but that doesn't happen as he goes on and folds face up. He folded pocket tens. He flopped a freaking set, and what a horrible run out for him. I'm sorry, my man, but we're gonna go on and take this one down. And we're going to go on and keep trying to build up our bankroll again after that punt. Now I'm on the big blind looking down at king, queen offsuit. Our opponent under the gun has made it 15 bucks. Our opponent in middle position calls. I call, and we go 3 ways to a glorious flop of king, king, 10. I go on and I check, letting the original aggressor do the betting for me. He doesn't disappoint as he goes on and leads out for 25 bucks. Our opponent in late position calls. Of course, I'm going to go on and make the call, and with about 120 bucks in the pot, we go 3 ways to see a beautiful, gorgeous, beautiful lady on the turn. I'm first to act, and I'm just going to go on and let my opponent continue to hang himself. I check, but unfortunately, they both check behind, and we go 3 ways to see a free 10 on the river. Now, this is a great card for us because if my opponent has a king or a 10, they're going to have to pay me off. I don't want this to check through. I'm going to go on and lead out for 100 bucks. Our opponent under the gun calls. Our opponent in late position decides to let his hand go. We show, and of course we're good. My opponent didn't even show his hand. I didn't ask to show his hand. I think it was bad etiquette if I made him show his hand, but ultimately he didn't have to show his hand. We are regaining our confidence. We are regaining our chip stack, and we're feeling freaking great. For this last hand of the night, we're looking down at pocket aces. Hell freaking yeah. At this point, I call time. I go on my phone, I go on Google, and it turns out that pocket aces is the best possible starting stack in Texas Holdem. Armed with my new knowledge, I go on and I make it 16 bucks. Our opponent on the cutoff calls, the button calls, and we go 3 ways to a beautiful, gorgeous flop of ace 10 4. Now there's very few things that compare to the feeling of when you flop a freaking set, right? Am I lying? No, flopping a set is awesome. I go on and I bet 20 bucks. Both my players called, and we go 3 ways to see a 7 on the turn. I'm not going to slow down now. I'm going to go on and bet out a bet of 60 bucks, to which our only customer is our opponent on the button. He's the same opponent who we went ahead and gave all our money to with the pocket jacks versus ace jack. Yeah, that guy, the guy that I attempted to bluff. Anyways, he's on the button, and we are now heads up to see a 3 of spades on the river. That brings in the front door flush, and given the fact that this opponent has seen me go all in with nothing, I'm gonna try that again. I'm all in. My opponent thinks about it, but ultimately he lands on a fold, and we go on and we take this pot down. Not a bad way to end the night. We are up about $200 in profit, and it's time to GTFO out of there. Hell freaking yeah. All right, fishes, that's all I have for you guys today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, went ahead and was in the game for 600 bucks, out for $800 for a profit of $200. The real win here was just getting out of that hole. Man, I was in it for 600 bucks. I don't think I've ever lost 600 bucks. Jesus Christ, but we were able to crawl back out of those stupid freaking bluff attempt. Those pocket jacks, man, I just didn't see them coming. I just did not see them. I had ace king. I had blockers to that, man. But even though I should have seen it, I didn't see it. I could not give that guy credit for any freaking strong hand. I really thought he was just trying to buy the pot, and it came back and bit me in the ass. Anyways, we learn from our mistakes. I don't know if I'll be able to do that again, but never say never. I am a fish. Don't forget to go on and click that thumbs up button. Don't forget to click subscribe. That notification bell really helps out the channel, where that way you're notified every time I drop new content. What else? Follow me on TikTok at FishPoker31. You don't even need an account to watch my videos, so show some love there. I'll see you guys on the next one.